I'm going to get you prepared for everything that you need for your test coming up on Thursday or Friday. All right, so we're going to look at our patterning and sequencing using this particular pattern, and I might change it a little bit in order for you to see some different concepts. Okay, so when looking at any pattern, the first thing that we have to do is find out what changes and what stays the same. Okay, and the change we often call the variable or the coefficient, and the part that stays the same we call the constant. Now, this picture nicely lays out the constant, all right? But that might not always be so evident, okay? Especially when you're only given a list of numbers, a sequence of numbers, okay? But I'm going to go through using this picture as an example of what to do, okay? So step one, all right, let's look at what changes and what stays the same, all right? So if I just look, all right, now from the change from the first term to the second term, there's 4 blocks, okay? All right, so we have 4 in the first one, and then we have 4 in the second one. All right, we have 2 groups of 4, okay? And then we have 4 blocks, our original 4 blocks, and then our second 4 blocks, and then our third 4 blocks, okay? All right, so that's the part that's changing. It's changing by 4 blocks each time. All right, at the same time, we can look at what part stays the same, and we see that this green block stays the same every time. Okay, so now, all right, we've got the part that changes and the part that stays the same, but we need to organize our information. Okay, and we do that by using the table of values. Okay, and you can see I've already got a t-table worked out over here. All right, we have the term number, okay, here, and we call that n, and that relates to this number in the sequence number, the picture number, the figure number, the term number, they're all the same. Okay, and then we have the term value. All right, so what we're going to record in here, all right, is the term number or the picture number. Okay, now I've suggested that everyone use the 0 term because that's going to help us out. Okay, so we have the picture number. All right, we have the picture number here, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then we have for each picture, there's a value. So in this case, it's 4 plus 1, which is 5 for the first term. So the first term has a value of 5. The second term has a value of 9. And the third term has a value of 13. All right, so now we can apply that change. We look for the change in the value in the table of values. So we have 5 and 9. The increase is 4. 9 to 13, the increase is 4. Okay, so therefore the change in each picture is 4, or we're adding 4 each time. Okay, when we add 4, 4 plus 4 plus 4, all right, is the same as saying 4 times 3. Or 4 plus 4 is the same as saying 4 times 2. Or 4 is the same as saying 4 times 1. All right, you can see that in the picture which I've laid out. Okay, and it's also here. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 is the same as saying 4 times 3, or 4 times the term number. All right, so we can write 4 times the term number or any term number as 4n. All right, if I put n in for the term number, it would be 4 times n. If I put 1 in for the term number, it would be 4 times 1. If I put 2 in for the term number, it would be 4 times 2, and so on. Okay? Now, obviously, we don't get a value of 4 for the first term. You can see that. We have a value of 5. And we can see that we have to add 1 on. But we can use the 0 term to work backwards from our first term to get that value. All right? So I had to add 4 to what to get 5? All right, well, that should come apparent that it's a plus 1. I had to add 1 to 4 to get 5. Okay, so therefore, that gives us our 0 term, and we can simply place that in the equation, and we end up with 4n plus the 0 term, which is 1. Okay, so you end up with 4n plus 1. Okay, now, remember that repeat addition is multiplication. So we're adding by 4. Okay, we're adding by 4 for each term in the sequence. Each picture in the sequence, we're adding 4. Well, if you see 4 plus 4 plus 4, or you have one group of 4, two groups of 4, or three groups of 4, you see 4 3 times. You see 4 3 times. Again, you see 4 3 times. So repeat addition is multiplication. Therefore, four groups. All right, we have 3 groups of 4, in this case, equals 12. All right? Okay, and that's what that would be for this value in the red blocks. That's what this is. Repeat addition is multiplication. Okay? And the 0 term will give you the add-on. Now, how will you know if it's adding on something or subtracting on something? We will get to that in a second. Okay, so I've changed the pattern a little bit to kind of recognize the subtraction, but I'm going to show you what that looks like on the table of values. Okay, because you might not always get a picture, and it might not always have dotted missing lines. Okay, so in this case, we're going to look at our values. Okay, so we have our term number, which is simply 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to record the values. I see 4 plus these missing ones, but I'm just going to go with the red blocks. I see 4 in the first term. Okay? I see 4 plus 4 in the second term, which is 8. And I see 4 plus 4 plus 4, all right, in the, actually, that's, okay. I'm going to change it up a little bit to make it a little bit more apparent. Okay, so I've changed the pattern up a little bit. So here we go. Okay, now I see 2 red blocks plus these ones, but I see the change. All right, there's the 2 original plus these 4, and then there's the 2 original plus 4 plus 4. Okay, all right. Okay, and if I record those values in the table of values, I've got 2 for my first term. I've got 2 plus 4 is 6 for my second term, and then I've got 2 plus 4 plus 4, all right, which is 10 for my third term. So you can see that I'm skipping by those 4 red blocks each time, okay? All right, now, if it was simply just adding 4 each time, okay, then it would be 4n. But in this case, you can see that it's not, and I've purposely drawn those negatives there. Okay, so we're going to look at what to do with that. So I've added in the 0 term, all right, which helps us to work a little bit backwards and figure this out. So if I'm going backwards from 2 by that increase of 4, all right, okay, where did I start? How did I get a value of 2 if I added 4? Well, obviously, I'm missing 2 somewhere there, okay? All right, so if I work backwards, 2 subtract 4 is going to give me negative 2, all right? So in this case, you can see my 0 term, or where my pattern starts, is negative 2, and I add 4 each time. So just like our previous pattern, all right, it's going to be 4n. But in this case, we end up with a negative as the 0 term. That becomes a subtraction on the end. Therefore, this pattern rule now is 4n minus 2. So the 0 term will help you get that add on or subtract on. Okay? So that's another skill that you're going to have to do in order to understand and work with the test. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this pattern into a scatter plot, okay, which is simply just a graph.